starting this up weekly on Saturdays. And I got my boy Kyle Weigert on the stage with me. So he's down in Milwaukee. And well, no, not necessarily even Milwaukee, huh? Where you at?
Where am I at?
In a garage.
In the garage with the
Definitely.
halo.
So with the halo behind his head. So, but yeah, again, this is Justin Jackson with the Real Chat Podcast, and this is our first episode initially that we're going to be doing. So I'm gonna be just throwing, a little interview with my boy and just chopping it up and doing some real chat. So, with all that, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, man?
My name's Kyle. I've known Justin for about 28 years. Um, Man, when we first started out, it was street life, and then, I mean, many, many years do we live a dark life. And now, let me say about 2010, I decided to change my life around. I decided to give back to the world instead of, as I felt like, taking it from the world. Um, what I mean by that is, I was 30 years old when I decided to change my life around and make a difference for people every single day. Like, you wouldn't think it's rewarding, but honestly, like, it's the best and the most rewarding, one of the most rewarding things of my day. Um, to get to there, man, where do we begin? Because, like, we've known each other a long time, bro. Like, a long time.
28 years,
28 years, man. Like,
28 years and
we
counting.
lost a lot of brothers along the way. I think we've realized that we've held unhealthy loyalty with certain things in our life. And, most importantly, where it comes down to is like, where are we now? Like, yeah, we have a past, so everybody has a past. And the reason why we're talking out about this is because it's important to let the youth and anybody else that's struggling out there, because if you live the dark life, you can overcome that dark life and come to the light, whatever you feel is your light. Me personally, my light was becoming a healer, as I believe. Um, the best thing I could ever done for my life. I graduated, never thought I was going to graduate. I have a family, a home, all the things I have. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, none of this would be, and some of y'all might not have the belief that I have, but none of this would be without God. Like, just point blank
Yeah,
and period. It begins with us as individuals, but like when you have a higher power. And do I fully give my worries and my stress and my fears to my higher power? Absolutely not. So I have time to grow with that. And that's a work in progress. Like you were talking about it in your first, talking about like we're a work in progress. Absolutely. Like where
definitely.
we
We're
are
always a
from
work
to,
in progress. Always a
oh
work
yeah,
in progress.
that's every entity of my life am I a work of progress. Work of progress as being a father, a spouse, uh, a therapist, massage therapist at that. I'm not talking about like psychological therapists, but with that being said, being a therapist, like that's a lot. Like you got to be able to, as somebody once said to me, how are you able to, how are you able to give somebody, how are you able to help somebody else if your cup is only half full? Like you got to show up. And when you show up, you got to make sure that you show up 100% for these people. It's hard. It's not easy when you got life, you got home life, and then you're supposed to like clear out your home life and then put that aside. It's not
Well, it's hard
easy.
to show
That's
up
why I
every
say,
day.
huh?
Every day, it's hard to show up every day,
It
hundred
is hard to
percent.
show up every
You
day.
know, but if you on your end at least try to give 100% every day, you know, then it's showing progress.
Yeah,
It may not
absolutely.
be
Like
100%, but as long as you're giving a
I'm
hundred
not gonna
percent,
sugarcoat. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit because I'm not gonna say I give myself 100%. I mean, there's many a times that I'm up here because that's where I'm used to being, and realizing that I don't have to be up here. I can be right here. And that's not always easy either. Like trying to meet people where they belong to be met.
so when did you realize that that's where you wanted to be? that you wanted to show up more than what you were given at any other part in your life?
So the biggest thing is I'll be honest, like I knew that if I stayed in the direction that I was, I'd be either dead in jail or somewhere in the street tweaked out.
Okay.
And like with that being truthfully said, like I'm speaking the truth right now. Me becoming a massage therapist has changed my life tenfold because of the direction. This all the stuff that comes along with being a massage therapist, like yeah, you're working on somebody, but you're also having somebody in your personal space where you're allowing these people to let go of whatever they're going through throughout their life. When you
Hmm.
talk about a body and you talk about how we bury things in the back of our minds or our brain or whatever people say, however the metaphor may be. But what I mean by that is you bury it within your muscle tissue, in the layers of your body. That's why it's mentally, emotionally, physically, all that includes into our everyday life. So when I deal with these people, I look at these people as this is my body on the table. And whatever I wouldn't want done to my body, these people will never get done to them. The only thing it is mind, body, and spirit. That's what I
Yeah.
truly believe. And that's what I bring to the table every single time somebody is in my space, on my table, getting a therapeutic massage. That's what my ultimate goal is: mind, body, spirit. And the reason why I say mind, body, spirit is because when somebody is going through something already in their mind, now
Hmm.
it's consuming the body. The spirit is the whole, right? Like a body is just borrowed. The spirit lives on forever. So what I mean by that is like you come in, just for instance, Justin, you come in, you get a massage. You had a rough day, right? I give you that
I mean,
space.
hypothetically, because I've known you too long, so I'm not gonna come in and get a
Well,
massage.
yeah, absolutely, bro. Like honestly, most likely you normally don't want to do like family member. You don't want to give a massage to a family member or a close friend or something, and that's okay. At the same time, each to their own. Like I get a massage twice a week or twice a month. I tell my clients like come in every other week, get your massage if they need it. I'm not going to tell you to come in and get a massage if you don't need it. Everybody needs a massage. We're getting back to that.
All the time, all the time.
Huh?
I told you the first time I got a massage, I was at the Fister in Milwaukee, and I was with my beautiful lady, and I decided to get a, a deep tissue massage. So for those of you who have never gotten a deep tissue massage, you should seek consultation before you get it, because and I got the man right here. He can explain to you after I tell you a little bit about this deep tissue massage that I got, and I was sore for like 3 days afterwards. Now my man is telling me that I should have went and soaked in Epsom salt. Now I tell you, I soak in Epsom salt a lot, and I don't think that was going to help me right at that moment, because I mean the massage felt good initially, but a couple days later it did not feel good. It felt like I was working out, like like I was a concrete worker uh, with chains for a couple days before that. So, but I'll let Kyle go ahead and explain to you what a deep tissue massage really does.
So
Replenish,
a
replenish,
true a
replenish.
true a true deep tissue massage, and I don't even really like calling it deep tissue massage because a lot of people that I've worked on or I've come across since I've been in my profession is that they think it's deep pressure. Now, a true deep tissue massage, that's not just deep pressure. And what I mean by that is a therapeutic massage is when there's the communication between you and your therapist. What I mean by that is you're getting a massage. Somebody starts going too deep. Hey, how's that pressure? Or how's that technique? somebody decides to say, "Oh, it's okay," but you notice that they're holding their breath, they're tensing up. Obviously, me being in my profession, I already know that the response, the body language, is responding to me and letting me know that it's too much. Now, what I mean by that is if you can't take a deep breath in and exhale out and still feeling that intensity, that's too much. And the communication
Bro,
is
it's funny. It's funny you say that because I am horrible with that. So even when my
so
lady
yeah,
gives me a
so
massage, she gives me a massage and she's like, exhale. And I'm like, mm, mm. I'm just holding my breath because
right,
that spot where she's rubbing is where that knot is.
right.
So it's hard to
No,
breathe out when it's
right.
going out.
So like say she's on a spot, right? She's on a point that, as we call them, like um active. How can I say this to make it real easy? So what I mean by that is, like, say I'm working on somebody and I come to the spot like you were just talking about. Like there's one or two things that you need to do though. Like
On the
if I'm
spot.
gonna bear down, if I'm gonna bear down my tool on the spot, whatever it may be, you know what I mean?
I love,
I know
I
this
love you,
sounds
bro.
weird, but
I
what I
love you,
mean
bro.
by that is the
Like,
technique I'm
you tear
using.
down your tool on the spot. I love you, bro.
All right.
That's that's what I love.
I mean, this is real chat, and we can laugh and shit because it
Yeah,
does sound funny, bear down the spot. But so, like, going back to what you were saying, like, when she was massaging you and she came to like a sore area, you know what I'm saying, a tensed up area. What you're supposed to do is when the person is working on you, you want to take a small, deep breath in and you want to exhale. The exhale is allowing the person to be able to go deeper without like breaking your back or something, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it may be. What I also mean by that is that a lot of people don't understand how the communication, like if you leave, like you were saying, Justin, if you leave a massage and you're sore 3 hours later, that's not what you came for. You came to have the areas of stress be worked out, not so that you're feeling like you just went through a war path. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
That's that.
getting back to that, right? Um, couple of things that are most important about massage therapy. Like people don't understand this. One, you need to show up for your therapist. What I mean by that is hygiene is extremely important. If you don't want my breath smelling, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
want your breath smelling.
I think yeah. Like why would you show up to a any therapist stinking? I mean,
Bruh,
why would you show up and be like, you know, like how you doing it? Like I'm doing good, you know.
right. So if you just
But as a
worked,
professional, as a
hey, so
professional,
look, I can understand that it's gonna happen every once in a while, but like if you just worked out at a gym
mhm,
and then you're like, all right, I'm just gonna
I'm gonna
show
get
up
a
sweaty as
massage.
hell. That's
Yeah,
what happens. I
but
mean, it's part of
I think
life,
that
okay?
also in a way, bro, I think that that's helped you to deal with people better. Because I mean, like I said, we've known each other 28 years, man. So it's been a lot of laughter, it's been a lot of craziness, and things that we used to laugh at and make fun of, and that's why I'm so impressed with you because of what you're doing. I'm so impressed with you because of how far you've come. And even though you say that it was 2010 when you decided to get your shit together, bro, it was sooner than that. I saw it sooner than that, bro. I remember when you first moved away, and that was like 2003, 2002, somewhere around there, bro. You moved to North Carolina, and right at that moment, you were already talking about going to school and doing something to better yourself, and you actually accomplished that,
Right.
and I mean that, bro, that's tremendous. So
I
I see
appreciate
you
you.
doing that sooner. I mean, you might have seen it in 2010. I mean, I think I remember a certain phone call that I got, I don't know where you were, but you called me randomly, and it wasn't a really good situation. And you still continue to push on. And I mean, actually, I lost track of where you were at these times because one minute I think you were in Kentucky. I think you were in Arizona.
Well, yeah.
So
So I first
wasn't
started out. I
it
moved to
wasn't even
North Carolina. I did my thing in North Carolina. Shit didn't work out. I moved back home. Was still in the streets because I thought that was gonna solve everything. That didn't solve shit. The only
you
thing it
went back to
solved,
what you know. You went
huh?
back to what you knew.
Right.
You went back to what was familiar.
Absolutely. The only thing I knew what to do to survive.
Mhm.
Not worth it. So I went from North Carolina back home, from home to Arizona, Arizona to Arkansas, and then shit,
Arkansas, not
yeah,
Kentucky.
shit didn't work out in Arkansas either. It was just like a circle of like continuous bullshit and just
Bro,
nonstop,
that's
like
where you called me from.
not
Was
realizing that I needed to show up for myself. When you don't think you deserve things in life, you won't show up. When you
Mhm.
don't love yourself, you won't show up.
You don't give 100%.
No, absolutely not.
What you were talking about earlier, giving 100%, being able to give 100% to something that you love, that you're passionate about, something you
Yep,
care about, you know,
absolutely. And
and
honestly, like what got me in to want to become a massage therapist, to be truthfully honest, is that besides giving back to the world, I grew up with I grew up with a man that I consider my dad, and he was
mhm,
paralyzed from the neck down. My
mhm,
mom happened to be his nurse or whatever. Um, and just seeing the man like so angry, hating being in his body, like just honestly, man, it was sad, you know? And like I always just seen him and I just wanted to be like, man, I just want to be able to help him. Like I just want to be able to help him walk again. I just want to be able to get back to his life, whether he was an ornery son of a bitch or not. Like I just
mhm,
wanted to get back to his life. And then him and my mom took care of six handicapped people, five, six handicapped people just to put food on the table.
mhm.
So I always got that work ethic from her, and wanting to give back was from him too, because I just was like, how can somebody want to live? Or I shouldn't say how can somebody want to live, because how could you? Like, I couldn't even imagine being in a wheelchair in that situation. But at the same time, like, God gave you life for a reason. Like, why wouldn't you try to see the best out of it?
Right.
So, taking this all the way back to starting school, massage school, like I moved from Arkansas. Shit didn't work out. I had a fiance there or whatever. Shit just did not work out. Another, how as
Mhm.
I could say, time to go, like travel lightly.
Hey,
That was just part of my life. I just,
back light, back
yeah,
light, and go back to what seems comfortable. But you know what? You didn't do that. You know what I'm
no, I
saying?
didn't.
Came back,
I
came
actually,
back
for once in
strong.
my life, I thought about myself before I thought about anybody else. And I decided to drive 19 hours to be able to make a change in my life. Like we are in charge of our path and our life. Like where I was going and what I was doing, that shit ain't gonna take me where I am today. And when I mean where I'm at today, I can't even believe it. I never even thought in my life that I'd be in a place where I'm at. But I know I deserve it and I need to keep
Exactly,
on
bro.
working at it to
Exactly.
keep what I have going.
When I saw you tinkering in your garage, bro, you my boy, man. But that was like man, I got a 21-year-old son, man. But not saying that you're younger or anything like that, bro. I'm just saying,
No,
bro, that's like that's a proud daddy moment, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when I can see my 21-year-old son